Movement is made through contraction of skeletal muscles. Skeletal muscles are composed of muscle bellies which have many muscle fibers in them. These muscles are connected to the bones by tendons which is made up of connective tissue. The muscles are covered by a tissue called the epimysium. These are bundles of muscle fibers in the belly which are surrounded by the perimysium. These bundles are referred to as fascicles. Muscle fibers are composed of myofibrils. Within the myofibrils are sarcomeres. Sarcomeres are striated because they alternate between thick and thin filaments. The I band is the lighter one that has thin filaments. The A bands are the darker ones that have thick filaments. Within the A band is the H zone, which is a paler region that has thick filaments not superimposed by thin ones. We see muscle contraction when these two filaments slide past each other. These muscle fibers are made out of two protein filaments. The thick filament is made out of protein myosin, and the thin filament is made out of the protein actin. Actin is anchored at the Z line so that the thick filaments don't just slide past them. They are anchored at both sides of the sarcomere, which is what causes it to contract. Contraction begins when a bound ATP turns to ADP and inorganic phosphate. This makes the myosin head extend and form a cross bridge with actin at a binding site. The power stroke then happens, which is when the myosin pulls the actin toward the M line. At the time the ADP and inorganic phosphate are released, the body has mechanisms in it to stop unwanted muscle contractions. These are troponin and tropomyosin. Tropomyosin is a long strand that covers the actin and myosin binding sites. Muscle contractions are controlled by calcium. The calcium binds to the troponin, which moves the tropomyosin to allow access to the binding sites. The shortening of the sarcomeres in turn shortens the muscle, which pulls on the tendon in order to move the bone.